the more difficult life gets, when you're facing a difficult phase, remember and believe that you're on the right path.
So I heard a lot of you talking about the values. So how important values are in someone's life, when they're, because I think most of the audience that will be seeing or listening to this podcast, they're in their growing stage. So how they should incorporate values?
You cannot learn all by yourself. You need to learn from others. That's why they are mentors, they are teachers, they are gurus. Gurus play an important role. We're the only country that has happiness ministry.
Yeah, happiness ministry.
Happiness ministry.
That's something new.
There's a popular saying in Punjabi in India, which is "Yaad pad jao, yaad kaat jao."
Welcome guys. Today we are shooting our third episode on Infinite Talk. And we have two of the special guests coming in. One is from Dubai and one is from UK. And we had a lot of information about how you can transform from India to UK and Dubai as a country to live in, some of the entrepreneurship journey experiences, and a lot more about relationship advices. Stay tuned and hear it out. Hi Stephanie, hi Pavel. It's a pleasure to have you at today's podcast. So just to start with it, I would like to have an introduction from both of you for our audience to know about you so that we can start.
My name is Stephanie Walton. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions at the University of East London in London. And we've been in India together for 2 days now. So we're thrilled to be here on the podcast.
Okay. And for you?
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for having us over here. My name is Pavel, and I'm the Deputy Head of International at University of East London.
Yeah.
I'm an educationist at heart, and it's been over a decade that I've been serving the students. Thank you.
University of East London.
For University of East London, yes.
University of East London has a very, a renowned name in Indian market and globally, I think now. And can you just tell us about University of East London, where it is situated, so that for everyone to know about it?
Yes.
What courses do we have, so that?
Yes, well, Pavel, you've been working in the market for such a long time with the students in South Asia, but the university's got a beautiful campus on the River Thames. It's just a lovely, lovely environment for students to study and meet their networks, socialise and find employment as well. Mm-hmm. So literally the campus is 15 minutes from central London, and the whole of East London is such a hotbed for diversity, so for South Asian students and global students from Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and of course British home domestic students. So it's a really, really good environment, and the course offering goes down so well, doesn't it, Pavel?
Absolutely. So UEL, let me dip a bit into the history of UEL. It roots back to 1892. So UEL has been pioneering futures since second industrial revolution to where we are, which is the fourth industrial revolution. Now we are slowly stepping into the fifth industrial revolution, reliance on the AI, machine learning, etc. So when we first started, we were popularly known as the West Ham Technical College.
Yeah.
We faced a devastating fire and it was burned down to ashes, and we grew from ashes stronger than ever. The reason why we have Phoenix bird on our logo and crest.
Now it makes sense.
Yes. Rising from the ashes.
We have seen, as a university, we have seen 2 world wars and several pandemics as well. So it's all about, as an institution, giving back to the community. So it's the values that we have very strong within the university.
Okay.
Back in 1892, we were offering around 35 courses. Okay. We enrolled approximately around 1,500 courses students, to be precise, around 1,436. Out of those, 1/3 were women. At that time, when education was not accessible to everyone in the community, but our founder, John Edmore Passmore, he was very committed that the education should be accessible to everyone, every individual in the community. The reason why we were popularly known as the People's University, to now we are known as the Careers-Led University. So we have been pioneering future since then. It's all about giving back to the community. So the values is inclusivity and accessibility of education for everyone.
Right.
And the Indian platform, the Indian subcontinent, in fact, the whole of globe, the diversification of the student body is pivotal to the student experience, because it's the student experience which is the foundation of every institution. We thrive for that. The better the student experience, the better university is, and we are happy and proud about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, diving deep into the conversation now. So, while I was researching about you guys, so you come from Ireland and you come from India, the Punjab region, right? So, just a bit of your life journey, how it had been, and how did you grow from? Because your life experience is intense, and I want to know it more today.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to share. Well, just for the record, I'm 50 this year.
Okay.
So this is the runway to 50 for me, and I'm celebrating myself this year because it's a milestone in my life. And when I look back on my life, I'm very proud of who I've surrounded myself with and how far I came in my career. So really my start in life was in Ireland, and for those listeners that don't know, the political situation in Ireland was very intense back in the 1970s, because that's how old I am. And at that time there was a civil war going on, and my parents had to leave the country because of their religious beliefs. They were not allowed really to be married. They shouldn't have been together. So they sought safety in England, and they brought their young family with them.
Is it like intercaste marriage kind of thing?
Yeah, so intercaste, yes, and unacceptable to have. My mother was a Catholic, and my father was a Protestant, which is Church of England, and that was where the divide was really in Ireland at that time. So it was very intense, and the campaign that ran in Ireland went on for over 30 years. People were killed, bombings happened. It was a very unsafe place to raise a family. So luckily for me, my parents brought me to England. My mum had a sister that lived in near Birmingham, and that's where they went to kind of get away from that situation. So I had a very happy childhood. I went to a local primary school, went to a local state secondary school, Catholic school, and was very happy there. But my mum unfortunately had a enduring lifelong health condition, and what I didn't realise until I was an adult was that I was actually a young carer. So my dad worked away a lot, and I was responsible for my siblings and my mum's health condition. So actually going on to university at that point in the 1990s for me, when I was a young adult, was not an option for me. I had to go out to work and provide for my family. And actually, in the 90s, it was okay to do that. There was plentiful jobs. And what actually happened to me is I went into Birmingham looking for temporary work. I was 18. I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. And I walked into a recruitment agency, and they said, well, Steph, we'll hire you. Come and sit on the front desk and answer the phone. And that's what I did for a week. And then they realised, oh, this individual's pretty good with people. Let's put her on the phone and start training her how to sell. And actually, I am forever grateful to that company. I spent 10 years with that company. And the barrier to entry at that time for recruitment was low. You didn't need a degree. You had to demonstrate that you could sell, that you could build relationships, could build networks, and convince people to work with you. So luckily, I had those skills without needing a degree. I think now it's very different, because obviously the competition for work is fierce. And I'll come on to what I did with my own children in a second, but I was very grateful to find an industry that I was able to integrate into really quickly, low barrier to entry. And the only caveat was work really hard. So if you worked really hard, you then got results. And so I became the youngest manager of a recruitment agency in Birmingham at that time. At 22, I was managing a team of around 30 people. And that organisation had faith in me, but that was the catalyst of my career. It enabled me to earn substantial income and develop my skills as a salesperson, and have a love for recruitment, which at that time was finding people their destinations for careers. So currently I work in education, but at that point it was finding people jobs. And then what happened is, after that 10 years, I opened up my own agency, and we concentrated on 15 years working in executive search, so placing directors and executives into big, fast-moving consumer goods companies.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know the brands like Marks and Spencer's, Tesco's, the big super companies in the UK. So I ran a business as an entrepreneur for 15 years, and I was really happy to do that.
Yeah.
And then that business was sold, and I spent a year then deciding, what am I going to do with my life? I might retire.
Yeah.
But I was too young. I was too young at that point.
Right.
And an opportunity then came to me to transfer my skills into education. So I did that 5 years ago. And through that time, I was a working mum.
Yeah.
So I had 2 children, and it was really important to me to give them the opportunities that I didn't have because of my family circumstances. So I chose to invest in their education, so they were privately educated, and I made sure that they had opportunities in terms of sport and going to travel, all of the things that I wasn't able to have as a child growing up myself. It was important that they were given those opportunities, and for sure that they were pushed into higher education and went on to get their degrees. So for me, the journey has been one of hard work and determination, and I kind of lived by the rule that your start in life doesn't necessarily mean that that's your outcome and that's your final destination.
Right.
You have to surround yourself with the right people and take the opportunities that are presented.
Right.
But education and talent doesn't mean anything unless you work really hard.
Right.
So that's what I learned actually in my life.
Hard work is the key.
It's the key to everything, and you can outperform anybody if you work the hardest.
Yeah.
And I kind of still stick by that rule myself. So really happy to transfer into education, and again my skills were transferable. So what I've learned is you can be skilled, soft skills, so sales, relationship building, the ability to make transactions happen. But you can apply that to different sectors.
Right.
So being like director of student recruitment for a large university in London, very proud to have done that. But actually, I don't take that lightly. That's the skills that I've learned. I'm still learning now, and I think that's the other thing. You never stop learning, so you have to be very open to not thinking that you've arrived in life, that actually each part of your career and each part of your personal life is a journey, Right. So I'm grateful actually that I wasn't given everything very easily as a child, because I think that then kind of gave me the grit and determination to really kind of make the most of my opportunities.
Right.
So and here I am today sitting with you in Delhi talking about that.
You have been an entrepreneur, you have lived a life in the education system also.
Yes.
So I will come up to the questions to learn more about entrepreneurship from you.
Sure.
But before hearing the story of Mr. Pavel,
of course,
his life
my
story.
colleague, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Steph mentioned, I must say, absolutely echo that. Life is a journey.
Yeah.
It's an adventure. You pick up, you learn whatever you can from people, from your surroundings, from life experiences. There's a popular saying in Punjabi in India, which is "Yad Padajo, Yad Kadajo." So either you educate yourself or you learn from the life experiences. So I'm 33 plus, going to be 34. Born in Amritsar, Punjab.
Right.
Raised over there, did my education until schooling in Punjab itself. Family hails back in government sector service and also the farming background. So I'm also a farmer myself, but never went towards that line of my family business. I wanted to be independent. Get my own life experiences, understand the purpose of my life, which I did. I'll come to that in some time. The important thing that I've learned throughout my life journey is it is very important to have a foundation, just like any building, any company. Your life, your own self needs foundation, the pillars, the important pillars, which is your value, your principles, most important. And the people that you surround yourself with, like Stephanie mentioned. Few years down the line, your future is a reflection of the company that you keep yourself in, the environment. you will start shaping yourself in that way. Like it is popularly said in sacred texts as well, the water, Amrit. The more sacred texts are read near the water, it crystallizes itself. It becomes different from normal water, and people, those who believe in religion and spirituality, call it Amrit. And I absolutely believe in that. I have that spiritual sense in me, and my colleague Steph has that as well.
Yeah.
I'm raised in a women-dominated family. I lost my father when I was in second grade, so life hasn't been easy, and it shouldn't be. So another thing principle that I believe in, the more difficult life gets, when you're facing a difficult phase, remember and believe that you're on the right path. Only then is when you face challenges. Every leader, every business owner, successful people in the world are the ones who face challenges. They failed, but they didn't give up.
It's a big learning today.
It's all about not giving up. Yeah. So I'm from that time when the awareness, the education opportunities were not available in your pocket, in your phones, on your tablets. So it was more about hearsays. We learned from each other. So it was more of a connected society around that time. So I did my research myself by going out in the market, meeting people. So very important, network. Your network is your network, and it stays till now. So it started from our ancestors, and it still has its importance in this globalized economy, even more than ever. So after my schooling, I didn't know what to do. So started taking advice from my elders, from my friends, my seniors. So I'm one of those 95% of Indian student population who apply for national level examination, get into the competition, get the percentile, be ready for the interviews, the group discussions, etc. And I got myself a seat in an MBA college, cleared CAT, cleared MAT, SNAP, etc. All the
exams that are there.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the first time my family had to bid me goodbye for my future career. And I remember all my family members, they were crying. So
that's how connected the Indian families are.
That's how the Asian families are. The Indian families are very connected. But they'll bid their children goodbye for their better future. That's the investment they do. And that's not just monetary investment. That is emotional investment as well. I had my teary eyes as well, but I was at the same time very excited to go out in the world, be a global citizen, learn more about cultures, and become part of this global one world. So when I came to Delhi, did my MBA from Raffles, made excellent good friends, mentors, did my internship in PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was in human resource industry at that time. Since my childhood, I always wanted to get into army. Never could do that. It's all about guidance, not getting guidance at the right time. The age set, you have to write examination. As novice I could be, as every student is, who doesn't have information or doesn't know where to get the information, I lost all those opportunities. So next thing I wanted to do was become a psychologist. Occupational psychologist. So,
but at that time, psychologist was a profession?
It wasn't. Exactly. So parents won't agree. My mother and my sister, they counseled me not to go for that field. So I was like, okay, the next possibility is human resource. It's the same, understanding the people, supporting the business, etc. So I got into that field. So made good friends with the academic and the management team as well. So there was a person, Professor Stephen Rollinson, an educationist. He was the academic vice president of Raffles Group. He's no more with heavy heart. He passed away a couple of years back. But loved his energy. So I remember very good times that I've spent with him, good conversations. So I was in PricewaterhouseCoopers doing my internship over there.
Yeah.
On my pathway to get my full-time job over there after graduation, and I get a call from Professor Rollinson, that my friend, I know you.
Yeah.
I know your life history. I know your principles, your values, and I have a proposition for you. Would you be keen to enter in the higher education industry?
Yeah.
So I thought over it. Just one night, I slept over that thought. Next day, I gave him a call. That's exactly what I wanted to get into as well. That's the purpose of my life.
Yeah.
I didn't receive the right guidance at the right time. The reason why I became an educationist, I want to ensure that nobody goes through that.
Again,
so the information, the guidance should be readily available. So I take pride in me being an educationist.
Yeah.
So no matter how high I get in my career ladder, I'll always stay grounded. If I see a student wherever globally, I get in a conversation of their education, their career, etc. So that's something that I'll always do, and I have been doing over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I noticed that whatever I planned, it didn't work out. And so one thing is there, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan.
Yeah.
It's not about planning. It's not about getting attached to it. Attachment, be very secure. Be very careful of that. Get the skill. Be ready for the journey. Don't decide it's a destination. Understand the purpose, and you'll excel in that. Even if you're facing failures, remember that you can be miserable or you can be strong.
Yeah.
The amount of work and time required is the same. You need to choose the right way for yourself.
Right. So I heard a lot of you talking about the values. So how important values are in someone's life, when they're, because I think most of the audience that will be seeing or listening to this podcast, they're in their growing stage. So how they should incorporate values and how that can be an important aspect in shaping the good career.
One popular saying is there, and all Indians must have heard about it, children while growing up, "Siyane keh gaye hain." Like wise men have said this.
This is a very common quote.
It's a very common quote. So you cannot learn all by yourself. You need to learn from others. That's why there are mentors, there are teachers, there are gurus. Gurus play an important role as well, because you need directions, and values and principles are more like your steering wheel, your directions. It shows you the right path whenever you are stuck in a situation that you don't understand what to do, what's right or wrong. And there's no correct definition to what's right or wrong.
Okay.
It's your own belief, your own intentions. Good can be bad for someone, bad can be good for someone, the other person. So it depends on your own intention, your principle, your values. So like I said, learn from others.
Yeah.
Have your own journey. Choose what's right for you, how you can serve the community. Being humble, being grounded is the main pivotal role that one can have while growing up. Because if you are not humble, you won't be open to the other global ideas and values.
You won't be accessible.
Absolutely. So values are the pillars of your life, of your learning, how open you are, and if you're closed, you can only achieve.
So, any 4 values for you and for you? Any 4 values that you want to tell people that you should have these in your life?
Yeah, well, I think just off the back of what Pavel has just said, I think you've really got to stand firm in your own values. And when you go out into the world of work or entrepreneurship, you're going to come across all sorts of people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And some people you're going to jive with, there's going to be a meeting of minds, and you're going to do some good business together, or you're going to create opportunities together. And others may not happen, and that's okay as well.
Yeah.
And that means that you need to be really clear about your own purpose. And so values for me are about doing the right thing when no one's looking. So not for show, not for social media, not for likes, not for follows, not for all of those things, but to find, whether it's your education or your career or a business opportunity, what are the right things for you to do to make that a success? And it is doing the right thing when no one's looking, and that means looking after either your customers or providing the best service or the best product, whatever that looks like. The values have to be around like the outcome that you're trying to achieve, and it always comes back to, I think, making the best of yourself so that then you can provide for your family and then the community. So I think it's got wider purpose. So values are about, I guess, wider purpose.
Right.
And not only making yourself feel good, but those around you that you're working with, interacting with, having relationships with, whether they're personal or professional. It's about those values, and you will meet people from all walks of life who some people's intentions are not good. So my advice to young entrepreneurs or young people coming through the education system is just to be aware of that and be observant of people in the room, and just ask good questions, and then assess for yourself, is this somebody I want to work with, is this somebody I want to do deals with or build a business with or a friendship with, and if your values, I believe in gut instinct. If your gut is telling you this is not good, trust it. Don't do it, or evaluate it at least. Like, stop yourself in your tracks and kind of like evaluate that. And I think that gives it a kind of good sense of like whether you should be kind of going forward with that proposition, with those people, with that opportunity or not.
You came from Amritsar. You have now shifted to Dubai. So how was the transition for you, and how is Dubai treating you now? I just wanted to know that.
Very good. So, I'll tell you that I'm a global citizen. Before moving to Dubai, I've always been doing up and down because I have had my parental side, their business over there in construction, farmers, construction, and my journey has been that I born and brought up in Amritsar, came for education to Delhi, lived in Chennai, lived in Mumbai, lived in Bangalore, lived in Vadodara. I just left the east part, never got the opportunity to live there, but I loved it. But I'm absolute Indian in its whole sense. And after my wedding, like I said, throughout my life, I've lived in a women family, all of them. I'm the only man at home, so
were you spoiled for Val?
Absolutely. Fully spoiled, pampered, till date. Earlier it was my mother and my sisters, and now it's my wife. They bring me all the time, and I do that too. It's a lot that I've learned from my wife as well. She's like a mentor to me as well. Learned companionship. I was very independent until I got married. Learned the importance of companionship, the collaboration, the synergy, and the women's gut feeling.
It works.
It's strong.
Absolutely, there is something over there. And I've read a book as well. The men don't understand, women can't read math. And it was based on 30 years of research, how men and women behave differently. They are politically equal, they are socially equal, spiritually equal, physically they cannot be equal. But the difference. So, wonderful read. I won't digress further from your question. So yes, moved to Dubai. It's beautiful, beautiful city to live in. It's cosmopolitan, welcoming to the whole world. The king, the government of Dubai, they're absolutely concerned about their citizens. They give back to the community. Like I said in my previous questions and answers, it's about the values. Be it a country, be it an organization, be it an institution, be it an individual. It's always about the value, how you're giving back to the community, how you're serving your people. So Dubai is all about giving back to its people. The only country that has happiness ministry.
Happiness ministry.
Happiness ministry.
That's something new.
over every portal, everything. There is a survey. What do you think? My citizen, what do you think? Are we doing sufficient, or is there anything else we can do?
Thoughtfully.
So it's very safe.
Yeah.
I travel a lot, and all women back at family, understanding India, we always worried about the safety of our family. So Dubai gives that. Very good from education point of view as well. It's very global. People from all around the world are moving. The mobility, inward mobility in terms of expats is huge. Dubai has seen attracting expats from all around the world. It's the highest. It's a business hub, and the education is booming as well. So it is also said that the future of education is foreign campuses in India, foreign campus in Dubai, and we can see it has already started. So there was no cultural shock as well for me. My mother adjusted there as well really well. So absolutely beautiful. Yeah, life has been very good. It's how you see it, like your vision.
How many years of your marriage you have been to? Total years of experience in marriage, I would say.
In marriage, okay. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was married for 26 years, and unfortunately, that marriage has broken down. But like Pavel said, I had a very successful marriage for 26 years. We raised 2 children together, and we were very focused on our careers, and we were at that point life partners, and we shared the load as a working, career-driven couple to make sure that the children got the attention they needed, but also the provision they needed in terms of childcare. But that I believe that people should do what they're good at, and what I was good at was my career, and I kind of got a lot of fulfillment and purpose from work. Staying at home would not have been an option for me. I would not have enjoyed that. Not that I don't enjoy being a mother or didn't at that time. It's okay to do both, but you've got to have the network to stack you up to be able to do that. And I've often said, and I will say it here, that men's life doesn't change that much when the children come along, but the women's life changes exponentially. And actually, when the children are growing up and things go wrong, they're poorly, they're sick, they want mummy. Right, so it's mummy who they call, and so women, I think, have to work harder in their careers to be able to serve every part of their life. So that is a challenge. That can be a challenge. So for me, one of my values is a promoter of women in the workplace, to make sure that we are cognizant of the fact that women in their careers are not just handling the work. There's a lot going on behind the scenes often in terms of their responsibilities. Not saying men don't do their bit or play their part, but I just think that the women probably take the burden of that. So that's key. And I think in terms of, partnerships in life, choose who you hang out with, and definitely choose who you have children with, right? So, don't take that decision lightly. But luckily me and my ex-partner are very good friends now, and we've come out the other end of that, and I think that's part of life. Nobody predicts that would happen. And 26 years is a long time to be with somebody, so I wouldn't say it was unsuccessful, but now I'm just in a new chapter in my life, and I'm enjoying it,
So I must echo what Stephanie has said, that mothers support. Mothers play an important role in every child's life. So I've been a single parent child, so I know the kind of sacrifices that mothers take. And there's also a saying in Hindi that "Har rishte se 9 mahine bada rishta maa hota hai." So a mother's relationship is 9 months stronger than every other relationship that is going to happen. So that's where the sacrifice begins to happen. I've seen my mother giving up on everything, on her desires, be it from good food, good jewelry, convenience, etc., for our education, for our upbringing.
And actually, because I did have my parents, and I said earlier that my mum had a health condition, I think it's important when you go into the workplace, that if you were in a position to be a mentor for young people coming through, to be inspiring for people for their career, it's important to take that role because you need that modelling in the workplace to inspire. And sometimes, I've been into a lot of organisations during my recruitment career, and sometimes you can look around a room and think, where's the inspiration here? So if you've got the gift within you to kind of mentor, train, coach, and develop people, then you should do that as part of the values that you have as a person at work.
Right.
Because that can replace. Some people don't have that at home, so they may not have parents that are, I guess, interested or invested in their careers. So the workplace has to provide that, I think, and I think that's certainly something that I enjoy, is kind of bringing people through and watching their careers develop. I think it's a very fulfilling part of work.
So one question in Hindi for Pavel, you don't
Absolutely.
mind. So अभी एक मनोज त्रिपाठी ने एक इंटरव्यू में बोला कि हर स्टूडेंट को इंडिया के 12th क्लास के बाद एक वर्ल्ड टूर, इंडिया टूर लेना चाहिए. So you have traveled a lot, So what's your take on traveling? And how does that change the personality of a person?
You become smaller and smaller and more humble as much as you travel. So, world is your oyster, and we know India, how big it is as a democracy.
Yeah.
Every 100 kilometers, the language changes, the culture changes, the dialect changes, the people's expectations, their thinking, everything changes. So imagine if it is that diverse in India, how diverse the globe will be, how developed a global citizen will be than somebody who is isolated to their world. So Manoj Tripathi ji ne bilkul sahi bola hai. Travel across India. You'll know your Indian citizens, your own brothers and sisters, their cultures, how diverse it is. So I've learned from all the places that I have lived in, hospitality is the crux everywhere. It was the common thing that your guest is your God. So welcoming nature of Indians, it is renowned all over the world. You see it in the blogs of foreign travelers who come to India. They're surprised to see how welcoming Indians can be.
Stephanie can tell us more about it. She's traveling India now.
Absolutely, and 100%. And I think, well, first of all, travel is a really important part of my life, and it always has been, in terms of making sure that I experience the world and life, and I had that opportunity for my children as well. But in the workspace, what I've learned is people are the same wherever you go. I think there was a famous Beatles song that said that. I think Paul McCartney said that once, but it is true. People want to make sure that you are welcomed, particularly in India. And the only other comparison I can make is Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand. So welcoming, hospitable, and anywhere I've travelled, I've felt safe because you make the right choices around who you spend time with and what your intentions are. So I would really encourage anybody that has the ability to travel, whether it's in country or wider internationally, once you have the ability to do that, is to do that. Like, don't spend your money on things, spend it on broadening your mind, building your network, understanding how the world works. There's nothing that compares to it, really, for sure.
That's how it is.
Absolutely, and I love India. Like I actually put on my Instagram last night. I just love it here so much. I'm in Delhi. I'm in a Japanese restaurant, being served by a Filipino chef who was cooking in front of me. So diversity in India itself, is just so fantastic to see. In terms of the welcome here, I feel very at home, and I think that's that link between Britain, the UK, and India. Anyway, that link exists. We understand each other, and we can work well together. We're very similar mindsets, British people and Indian, which is why business is so successful between our two countries.
So you had a lot of experience as an entrepreneur. 15 years was a long time.
Yes.
What do you think a 20 years old guy who's trying to build a business, what are the things he should keep in mind to have a successful entrepreneurship journey and build something in life?
Yeah. Well, good question. For me, it's about not being fixated on one idea, and also be flexible with time scales. So people write business plans, they have ideas of how life's going to be and how that business is going to develop. It's never going to happen like that. So you have to be very resilient and in it for the long term. So my advice to somebody who's perhaps 20, who may be trying to figure out what their business looks like while they're perhaps studying or working at the same time is to do the work. So you've got to do so you'll be working around the clock 7 days a week to make it work. But then the number one thing, the number one problem with starting out in a business is that nobody knows that you exist. So obscurity is the problem. So therefore your network and who you know is everything. So I spent many years building a network that didn't actually have an impact immediately for me in terms of buying my services or having that kind of financial transaction. It was about being known as a celebrity in my space. So making sure that everybody in my sector that I was recruiting and looking at executive search at that time knew who I was. So if somebody wanted to hire a CEO, a director, or a leadership position in the food manufacturing space, it was me that they came to. But you have to start by showing up everywhere. So even an event that doesn't necessarily pay straight away for you, you have to show up and make yourself like embedded in the kind of community that you're trying to establish a business in. So the key thing is to be a good networker, but also somebody who is a good business partner. So in terms of like giving people referrals or referring other businesses to other businesses to show that you are generous with your time, where it may not have or pay any dividends to you straight away, that you're somebody that's actually active in the business community. So demonstrating that you're a person of trust, that you've got integrity, and that actually you're in it for the long term. So building kind of short-term gains just to earn some money or to make a quick buck is not the way to do this. So I think it starts with hard work, it starts with developing an idea, it's also being open to criticism. So not everyone's going to love your idea, they're not going to love your product, they're not going to love your service, and you've got to thicken your skin up a bit to take that feedback, and test it on a number of different people, but also be prepared. Like I said, people work with business plans that it never looks like that in the end. So be prepared to kind of, go down different avenues and change direction, be flexible, and learn from those around you. So I think that would be my advice. There is no shortcut to entrepreneurship. I mean, there may be on TikTok and Instagram and other platforms where people have become influencers overnight, but that's very, very few people. To establish yourself like with sustainable long-term business ideas, you have to do the grind, you have to do the hard work, and you've got to have to show up to events, make phone calls, have discussions that don't result in anything. So don't be put off by that, because it will add. There was people that I connected with and interacted with very early in my career, and we didn't do business for 10, 15, maybe 20 years later, but we became business associates in the sector, and I think that's what builds trust and integrity for you. And then whatever product and service that you go on to launch later, there's respect for you that's created because you've got that currency socially and in a business setting that says that you're a good person, a person of value, and you're knowledgeable about your business. But it really starts with the hard work, and nobody wants to work all the hours. Nobody wants to do that, but you have to. I'm just a believer in that.
So entrepreneur is 24/7 on work.
It really is. It is, because otherwise, who's going to do it for you? Nobody.
Exactly.
And even when you then hire staff and you build a business with people, you've always got to be the most hardworking person in the business, because you're the one that's invested. It's your name on it, and you have to die on that sword. If it's successful, great. If it's not, it's down to you as well. And like I said earlier, people in your business look up to you. You have a responsibility to create a business that grows, that is sustainable, that creates jobs for the long term. So all of that is added responsibility. So you've got to be in it for the long term, really, and be open to criticism, but bounce back from that quite quickly with your ideas. So, but entrepreneurship is an exciting journey. It is, and the downside is no one's putting money in your bank account every month.
Yeah.
You haven't got that safety.
Right.
Nobody's going to give you that, so you have to develop that yourself.
Right. How do you network? Because I think while 3-4 months back I was looking at this question, how do you network in events? So because you travel a lot, you would go to a lot of events as well. So for someone who is new to the industry, how can he network with people at an event? What's the key points for that?
Be a good listener.
Yeah. That makes a good network.
Yes, absolutely. So you listen to what other people have to say and add on to be a part, add good value to those conversations. And if you find a match in between common interest, common passion, common interest, that's how you network. That's how you stay connected. That's how people will remember you.
Yeah.
And whenever they are thinking about their business, and if it resonates, it synchronizes, they'll think about you. So it's all about conversations, because conversations sit in your photographic memory.
Yeah.
So I would also like to add on to the entrepreneur part, and Steph has covered it all so brilliantly.
Yeah.
Now, in nutshell itself, I'm not a businessman, but I do my job as it's my own small little business venture over here. Right? So, businessman or being entrepreneur is not a designation. It's your way of working, way of living. So every job has an art to it. It has science, it has knowledge, it has business acumen, but it has art to it as well.
Yeah.
So every individual will do the same job, the same designation in a different manner, the way they perform, the way their principles are, what their learnings are, how they handle situations. So a couple of things that are very important for young entrepreneurs. I'll say that be passionate.
Yeah.
Follow your passion. It's not always about money. If you're passionate, you'll see the horizon. You'll go a long way.
Yeah.
You'll see laurels. Do your R&D. You need to understand what community needs.
Right.
Only if you understand that, you're able to unlock that towards your business product. Revenue will itself come in, because what you're doing is you're serving the community. And like a service, any service, people will buy.
Yeah.
Keep values, accept critics, learn from them, be open to learn, and be brave.
Yeah, be brave. I think at networking events, be brave. Because sometimes you can go to an event, you don't know anybody. It can be quite intimidating, particularly if you're young, you're starting out.
Yeah.
You've just got to push yourself through that uncomfortable feeling. And once you start approaching tables or people or groups, the nice thing to do is perhaps over a coffee, just like hang out with the group and start contributing.
Yeah.
You do find your flow with it, and it becomes easier over time. I think that's the key thing. You do it more often, just becomes the norm for you then. But be brave. That's a good comment. Yeah.
Right. Another key thing is companionship, collaboration, finding synergies with like-minded people, whether that is in your life. You have a companion, you'll have a very nice life. Your laughter double, your happiness increases when you share, and your sorrows, your worries, they get half when you share it. So it's a very beautiful science behind emotional connection as well. So being global means develop synergies, develop collaborations, and companionships.
Yeah, and just one more thing to add on that, just kind of reflecting on that, is be yourself. So don't pretend to be somebody you're not. Right? Be your authentic self. And I'm somebody that shows up. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I kind of just show up as my true self. And I think sometimes when I was young and I was learning, I used to think, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should be more formal, or maybe I should hold back a little bit. Yeah. I would encourage people, no, be your true self, and your right people will find you to work with you, to hang out with you, to kind of invest in you, either in your career or your business or whatever it looks like. But be yourself, because that's how you'll then surround yourself with like-minded people.
Right.
Okay.
Just the last question,
Yeah.
for summing it up.
Yeah.
So you talked about companionship. So one advice that you want to give out to all the couples who are getting married this year.
Oh, interesting one. So, all right. So, see, you need to understand. You're going to spend life with an individual. So it's one of the most important decision of your life. So be very careful. Be very mindful in choosing your partner. Understand what the universe is trying to tell you. Observe the signs. Observe your intuition, the gut feeling, the aura. I believe in all this. Yeah. So if you find the right companion, and finding the right companion means like-minded. Again, the right set of values. You learn from each other. There should be a two-way street all the time. Two-way loyalty, two-way learning has to be there. Only then, even if you have found the right person, few years down the line, you might not be compatible anymore because you're not growing together. You're not doing the same things together. Reading a book, traveling, doing R&D or research about something, helping people, serving the community. The kind of values you have, you should share, grow, learn together, experience the world. So only when you're experiencing, having life experiences together, is when you'll be able to see the sunset together.
That's right.
That's the way to grow together. Respect each other, value each other. Very important. Listen to each other. We listen to others, to people in business. Why not each other? Very important. Simple things that people miss.
Yes, definitely. So I want to sum it up here, and thank you so much, Pavel and Stephanie, for being here today. It was a great, enriching podcast, and I hope it reaches millions of people who will be waiting to listen to you guys. Thank you, and see you again at Infinite Talk.